So I'm going to share a slide here. And we'll be talking about gut health and immunity for dietary and wellness practices. And being aware of the short time that we have, I'd like to share certain dietary and wellness practices that people can start implementing right away as soon as this presentation is over. And Ayurveda has been uh, talking about how to uh, use dietary and wellness practices to improve immunity, which is discussed in the language of ojas. So immunity is discussed in the language of ojas in the Ayurvedic Sanskrit language, and gut health is discussed in the language of Agni. So I will talk about the uh, dietary best practices for immunity or improving the ojas. And specifically in today's time of compromised immunity causing to leading to pandemics, this is very important and practically necessary for us. So here are some dietary and wellness practices, and people are welcome to take a picture of the screen here. So at our clinic and also at our academy, this is what we have been recommending in terms of dietary practices for immunity. A simple thing like filling a thermos with pure hot water and taking sips of hot water every 30 minutes, which helps to keep the throat moist and prevents virus infections. The second thing we have been encouraging both our patients and students is to use culinary herbs or spices like turmeric, ginger, garlic while cooking their veggies or grains or lentils. And finally, like Dr. Junaid mentioned, to avoid sugar or sweeteners, processed food, deep fried foods, or saturated animal fats. These are some simple practices that can help boost immunity. Now, there are clinically proven and evidence-based dietary supplements that can be used to boost immunity. And we have seen excellent results with standardized extract of curcumin, which is an active constituent from our haldi or turmeric. Then tulsi, which is a very common herb in Asia. And finally, guduchi, which is also known as giloy. So these herbs have been used in Ayurvedic medicine and also various herbal traditions and natural medicine systems for thousands of years. In our clinic, we usually use them in the dosage of 1,000 milligrams each daily because they are natural immune boosters, antiviral, and anti-inflammatory. And currently, there are lots of clinical trials that are being published with how they are helping in boosting immunity or ojas. For people who do include animal products in their diet, we usually recommend fish oil about 2,000 milligrams daily because it's an excellent immune booster and anti-inflammatory. Again, with common sense, okay, that we all know, for wellness practices to boost immunity, everyone has to exercise, maybe on an average at least 30 minutes daily, sleep at least 8 hours, and very important is some mindfulness or relaxation to manage the stress. One practice that has helped many of our patients is to gargle with 1 cup of hot water, to which you add half teaspoon sea salt and quarter teaspoon turmeric. So that hot water allows the extract of turmeric to be absorbed, okay, in the mucous membrane of the throat that spreads to the upper respiratory system and the lower respiratory system and prevents, okay, infections and boosts immunity. So those are some practical dietary and wellness guidelines that we have seen excellent results. I'll move on to the gut health now, which is this next slide. And again, I would encourage audience to feel free to take a picture of this slide so that they can review this information at some point. Now, gut health in Ayurvedic language is discussed in terms of Agni. And Agni is a term for all of the wonderful physiology that happens right from our lips all the way to our anus. So all of the enzymes, all of the gastric juices, the pancreatic juices, and the bile from the liver, and all of the millions of gut microbes, okay, that Dr. Junaid was speaking about, all of that is combined in this very gestalt approach of Agni. And to boost that normal flora, we have to use both probiotics and prebiotics. Now, you can use them in diet in the form of yogurt, buttermilk, and in our Eastern dietary traditions, there are low salt pickled veggies. Again, the important factor is the salt should be low and there should not be any sugar in these pickles. In other culinary traditions, people have used kefir, kombucha, sauerkraut, kimchi, tempeh as wonderful sources of probiotics because they provide lots of healthy organisms and boost the normal gut flora. Now, to help that gut flora nourish, you can use prebiotic foods like earlier mentioned banana, garlic, mushrooms, and onions. Of course, the dietary practice that is important for helping both probiotics and prebiotics is to minimize artificial sweeteners and sugar, processed food, and deep fried foods. We have seen our clinical practice, dietary supplements have important contribution to improving the gut health. And this is again evidence-based and clinically proven that extracts or standardized formulations of triphala, which are 3 different fruits, which are shown in the picture here. They are known as amalaki, bibitaki, and haritaki. It's very helpful in boosting digestion, reducing inflammation, and improving elimination of wastes and toxins. And along with that, 2 other botanical medicines that are very helpful, or dietary supplements that are very helpful, are bael and licorice. Finally, in wellness practices for gut health, we usually recommend intermittent fasting, where you can do 2 or 3 feedings during 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., about 8 to 10 hours, and then fast from 7 p.m. to 9 a.m., about 14 hours. And that usually helps in improving the gut health. Ayurveda traditionally is well known for its detox and rejuvenation protocols or treatments called as panchakarma. And I'll take only about a minute to share some information about this very well studied and well documented protocol called panchakarma, which is used for gut detox and rejuvenation.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is a week-long program under guidance of doctors and nutritionists, and there are usually 5 steps that are used. One is mild fasting, then using nutritional supplements, using exercises and yoga, and then finally doing both upper and lower gastrointestinal detox with both Virechana and Basti therapies. So that's the presentation that I wanted to give. And we have had really good results with this, with our both immunity compromised and gut health suffering patients.